I know what you're thinking. ATF drops a new rule, and your first instinct is to brace for impact. I get it. That's been our entire reality for years. But this one is different. This is the ATF actually removing a requirement, removing a hoop you used to have to jump through, removing a cost that was being passed straight to you. If you've ever touched an NFA item, or you've been thinking about getting into suppressors, SBRs, or anything on that list, you're going to want to hear this. What is going on, everybody? My name is Andrew, and welcome back. This is the channel where we cut through the noise and talk about what actually matters for your safety and your wallet. If you're new here, hit subscribe so you never miss a breakdown like this one. All right, let's get into it. Before we go any further, a quick note. This video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. We're discussing recent court rulings, legal challenges, and public policy debates surrounding the Second Amendment. Nothing in this video should be considered legal advice. The ATF is actually cleaning house, and here's what changed. Last week, right after Robert Sakata was confirmed as the new ATF director, he and Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche held a press conference. They announced 34 new ATF rules designed to modernize the agency's approach and roll back some of the heavier-handed policies of the previous administration. Today, the very first one has been officially published in the Code of Federal Regulations, ATF Rule 2025-R15P, removing CLEO notification under the National Firearms Act. Let me break down exactly what that means, why it matters, and what you can do about it right now. Section 1, what is CLEO notification and why did it exist? If you've ever applied for an NFA item through a Form 1 or Form 4, you know the process is already slow. Background checks, wait times, paperwork, it adds up. Here's where CLEO comes in. CLEO stands for Chief Law Enforcement Officer. Think your local sheriff or police chief. Prior to 2014, that CLEO had to personally sign off on your NFA application, confirming you weren't going to do anything illegal with the item. That was a full authorization requirement. Some CLEOs refused to sign anything on principle, which effectively meant if you lived in the wrong country, you were locked out. In 2016, the ATF modernized it slightly. The sign-off requirement was dropped, but they added a notification requirement. You still had to send a copy of your application to your CLEO. They didn't have to approve it, they just had to be informed. Better than before, but still an extra step, still a cost, and as it turns out, completely pointless. Section 2, the ATF's own numbers tell the story. Here's where it gets interesting. The ATF looked back at nearly 10 years of data on this notification requirement, and what they found is pretty telling. In those 10 years, ATF is not aware of a single CLEO performing an independent background check or filing an objection based on these notifications. Not one. The general feedback coming back to the ATF was that law enforcement agencies were simply discarding the notices straight into the trash. So here's what we had: a requirement that cost applicants real money, that added a real step to an already slow process, and that accomplished absolutely nothing. How much money? The ATF estimated in 2016 that this notification requirement was costing applicants, individuals, and entities $5.8 million per year. That number is higher today because NFA transfers have increased and inflation hasn't taken a break. The proposed rule estimates removing this requirement saves applicants approximately $1.4 million annually. Real money back in your pocket. This is the moment where the ATF is admitting their own rule wasn't working and doing something about it. Section 3, what exactly changes for you? Here's the bottom line on what this rule does if it gets finalized. No more CLEO notification. Full stop. When you submit a Form 1 or Form 4 for an NFA item, you will no longer be required to send a copy of that application to your local chief law enforcement officer. That step is gone. The ATF already runs its own thorough background checks through the National Instant Criminal Background Check System. They already assess state and local law independently to determine whether specific NFA items are lawful in your jurisdiction. They have not needed local law enforcement input to do that job for years. This rule simply makes the process reflect reality. One less step, one less cost, zero reduction in actual safety. Does this speed up the wait time on Form 4 approvals? Not directly, but it removes friction from the process and signals something bigger. The current administration is actively looking to streamline NFA access for lawful gun owners. Section 4, how to make your voice heard. Right now, here's something most people skip, and they shouldn't. This rule was officially published May 6, 2025, which means it is now open for public comment. That window is your chance to be on record. The ATF is specifically asking for comments on 3 things. First, the clarity of the proposed rule and how it could be easier to understand. Second, the costs or benefits of removing this requirement. Third, the appropriate methodology and data for calculating those costs and benefits. When submitting your comment, reference document RI 1140A65. If you're mailing it in, include your full name and contact information. If you're going through the federal e-rulemaking portal, Follow the site's instructions carefully. The link to the comment portal and the full proposed rulemaking order are in the description box below. Do not skip this. Comments on proposed rules actually matter. Use this window. Look, we talk a lot on this channel about regulations that make life harder for law-abiding gun owners. Today, we get to talk about one going the other direction. A pointless requirement that was costing the gun-owning community millions of dollars a year and achieving nothing is being removed. That's a win. Take it. If this video helped you understand what's happening, watching, drop a like, hit subscribe, and share this with someone who's been eyeing their first NFA item and doesn't know things just got a little easier. The full rule and the comment link are in the description. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Thanks for watching.